to come. Right. I've come to the edge. Okay.
Hari Gopal Bolo, Govinda Bolo, Hari Gopal Bolo, Govinda Bolo, Hari Gopal Bolo, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda 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 Bolo, Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal 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 Bolo, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda 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 Bolo, Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal Bolo, Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal Bolo, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Bolo, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Bolo, Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal 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 Bolo, Radha Ramana Hari Govinda 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 Bolo, Govinda Bolo Hari Gopal 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 Bolo.
One more. Do one more.
Atma Ramananda Ramana, Atma Ramananda Ramana, Atma Ramananda Ramana, Atma Ramananda Ramana, Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana, Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana, Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana, Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana, Adi Narayana Ananta Shayana, Adi Narayana Ananta Shayana, Adi Narayana Ananta Shayana, Adi Narayana Ananta Shayana, Satchidananda Satyanarayana, Satchidananda Satyanarayana, Satchidananda Satyanarayana, Satchidananda Satyanarayana, Atma Ramananda Ramana, Atma Ramananda Ramana,
Generally, this is not being broadcast to.
Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Vedanta Dindima Sattvam Ekam Ghoshayanti Yat Astam Purastat Tat Tejah Dakshinamurti Samhitam Atmanatma-padarthau dvau Bhoktru-bhogyatva-lakshanam Brahmaivatmana-dehadihi Iti Vedanta-dindimaha. So, few more things to see in this very beautiful text. And Dakshinamurti, couple more metaphors we have to look at. And one more thing from the first verse before we go to the next one. Dakshina Abhimukha Murtihi. One meaning. The Lord that faces southern direction. Why is the Lord facing south? Because you are looking at the northern direction. North is moksha. South is the realm of death. Finitude is south. Infinite is north. In terms of directions. So once one is interested in moksha, one is going towards the north. And generally everyone is headed north, because death, which is beckoning in the south, is a frightening prospect. So everybody is headed north, and the only one that is facing south, that has the ability to face south and not be afraid and take away our fears of death, finitude, etc., by showing the way to the infinite, is the way to oneself, the truth of oneself, is Dakshinamurti, one meaning. And the second meaning is even more interesting. Dakshinascha asau amurtascha. Here Dakshinaha doesn't mean southern facing. Dakshinaha means Dakshaha. Amurta means without any form. So we can't mix up the two meanings and say the one without any form is facing south. That makes no sense. The two meanings are separate. One is on the level of Vyavaharika Sat, the everyday empirical reality. And the empirical reality is what? That that the southern direction is frightening and it represents death, and the northern direction is freedom. And so therefore Dakshinamurti conquers death by facing south, And whoever is facing Dakshinamurti also conquers death. Death in the sense of samsara. That is on the level of the, the frightened jiva seeking refuge in the Lord. The devotee, seeking refuge in the object of devotion here, which is, emphasized as Lord Dakshinamurti, who is facing the southern direction. Then on the Paramarthikam Sat, on the level of the absolute reality, the Swarupa of the Lord is talked about, the nature of the Lord, which is what? Amurtaha. Amurtaha means what? Formless, without any particular form. And formless means what? That which is in the form of, we have already seen, Tat Tejaha, that light of consciousness, which is what? Oneself. So formless, awareness, consciousness, which is really the truth of oneself, the second meaning. And here Dakshinaha means Dakshaha. Dakshaha means the one who is, able to cut the cords of samsara and identification to everything that is finite. In that sense, Daksha. So these two meanings are there, which are very important to see of the Lord that is being invoked in the form of the teacher for this particular text, which is all about the formless truth of the Atma as Satchidananda, one, and that which is all pervasive and which is the light of consciousness, awareness. So this is why this particular way of looking at the Lord is very helpful. And so Dakshinamurti Samgitam, this light of consciousness, at once what? In itself, its Swarupa is formless, but I am looking at this form, I am invoking as a devotee this form called Lord Dakshinamurti. So here, this verse is, the opening verse, that's why I said it starts with a big bang. The two definitions of Brahman are given. Brahman, which is the truth of the universe, which is the Lord. Two definitions of Ishvara are given. So when you say Dakshinamurti, then you say Bhagavan, then that Bhagavan has Shakti. That's why the left side of Dakshinamurti is feminine. Shakti, the one that is holding the Veda and the fire. It is she and he combined. So that Shakti, makes the Lord capable of, having equipped with the power of creation, sustenance, and what else? Dissolution, resolution. And then so, this is what is called, when this Brahman is equipped with this Shakti, it is called Bhagavan. Right? We have seen this. And so this equipped with this Shakti, and the same, what is this Brahman? Satchidananda Lakshana. Satchidananda, yesterday we saw in detail what Satchidananda is, and that which is, which is you, and that which is in the form of I am now, and I am free of all sorrow right now. This is Satchidananda. Sat and Chit is easy to understand. It's that Ananda that puts a little curve there. Yeah, but when you look at the word now, then it becomes very easy. So then, so this Satchidananda Swarupa, is equipped with the power to, with an unlimited upadhi, limitless power, limitless knowledge is called Bhagavan. And from the standpoint of who? The devotee, the jiva, who is limited upadhi, limited body, limited mind. That's why we keep saying never mind. Yeah, that's the only thing you can say about the mind. For sure, never mind. All the time forgetting something or the other. So limited body, even more limited mind, limited senses, limited everything. And so this limited, jiva, who is under the laws of the whole, under the laws of the Lord, there is no other way except through surrender. And this surrender is emphasized in this line. In the second line, Dakshinamurti Sangitam, Astam, let this light be in the form of Lord Dakshinamurti guiding us. I surrender to the Lord. I surrender to this light of all lights in the form of Lord Dakshinamurti. Otherwise it feels like you're praying to yourself. That's why it is talked about here very, very clearly. Otherwise it gets confusing. And that's why after 5 or 6 Vedanta classes, people start asking, who am I? First of all, should I be praying? And secondly, why should I go to the temple if I am Bhagavan? You know. Then to which I have another question. Why should I answer all the questions? You also answer a few questions. So my question is, if you are Bhagavan, you should not even eat. Yeah. That time nobody asked that question. Why should I eat? Yeah. You should also just sniff it like Bhagavan, Om Pranaya Swaha, Banaya Swaha, Vyanaya Swaha, Udanaya Swaha, Samanaya Swaha, Brahmane Swaha. Long distance food. Yeah. Think of all the money you will save. Fantastic. So if you are Bhagavan, then you should also not eat. Forget going to temple. So here, from the Vyavaharika Satta standpoint, there is an as though difference, and that as though difference is only from the standpoint of upadhitaya. From the standpoint of upadhi, upadhi is one more word which we have to write off in terms of translation. There is no possibility of translation. We can say kind of, it is usually translated as limited adjunct. I have never understood that. Yeah, if you look in the Vedanta books, very erudite people have come up with that translation. I respect them, but I don't know what they are meaning here. So I look at it more as an as though container, upadhi. As though container and as though coloration, like even if we have, now that this prop is there, we should use it. Like we have this with some kind of a, pink color behind it, and it starts to look pink. So the pink color flower becomes the upadhi for the crystal, which is nirupadika. Similarly, Brahman, nirupadikam Brahma, as though gains this body mind sense complex and then gains an upadhi, identifying with that upadhi, feels itself what? Sad, mad, bad, and wants to be redeemed. And then here the surrender is very important, because who is surrendering? The limited jiva is praying for the grace to complete studying this text, and for this text to bless. For this text to bless just like it blessed the author, for this text to have some, yield some dividends in the form of a, of less reactivity, more accommodation, more compassion, which are all the, what should I say, signs of moksha, lived, knowledge. And so from that standpoint, it is what is called Tatastha Lakshana of Brahman. Tatastha Lakshana means a definition of Brahman with regard to the Upadhi. And here, Bhagavan's Upadhi is like an ocean. It includes the whole thing. It includes the ocean along with all the laws, along with all the fishes, waves, everything. Seaweed, flotsam, jetsam, those are the jivas. Yeah. So it's oceanic. Correct? And then we have, small upadhis, flotsam, jetsam, big wave, small wave, medium-sized wave. Those are all small upadhis. What are they? They seem to arise from the ocean. They seem to be sustained by the ocean. And unto the ocean they go back. And so from that standpoint, there is an as though difference. And therefore this is what is called Brahmanaha Swarupa, Tatastha Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana means an incidental definition of Brahman with regard to what? The Jagat. Because when does Bhagavan assume a form, of the creator? When there is something to create. When does Bhagavan assume the form of the sustainer? When there is something to sustain. When does Bhagavan assume the form of the resolver, dissolver? When there is something to dissolve. So this incidental definition is only from the standpoint of the presence of the Jagat. So when there is Jagat, then Bhagavan becomes the creator, sustainer, resolver, everything. And then what am I? I am that which is succumbing to the laws of Bhagavan. I come under the laws of Bhagavan. Who is this I? From the standpoint of the body, mind, sense complex. And from this standpoint, the devotee in a small body, limited mind, limited senses, surrenders to the limitless. Why should I surrender to the limitless? Why should Nrisimha Saraswati, a person who is a jnani, surrender to the limitless and say, let this light of Lord Dakshinamurti, be with me? Why should he say that? Because it is from the standpoint of the body, mind, sense complex. It's from that, standpoint that the prayer, everything comes in on that level. Because from the standpoint of the body, mind, sense complex, there are numerous obstacles. Karma, law of karma, and that karma is coming in the way. All these things have to be resolved, and so therefore the prayer is appropriate. Because even a jnani is a bhakta. In the Bhagavad Gita, 4 types of bhaktas are discussed. What is the first one? Yeah, Artha, aka 911 Bhakta. Yeah. He has Bhagavan, she has Bhagavan on speed dial. Yeah. Only in times of emergency. 911 Bhakta. And then the other one is a deal making Bhakta. Correct? And the third one is a who are you? I want to know you. I want to know myself as you. Bhakta, Jignasu Bhakta. And then finally the Jnani, the one who knows. But he also or she also is a Bhakta. Bhagavan says, Chaturvida bhajante ma. And then Arto Arthati Jignasu Jnani cha Bharatarshabha. Jnani is also a Bhakta. And so, therefore, the Bhakti doesn't go because as long as one is embodied, one cannot but be in awe of the universe and of Ishvara. So, how does the Jnani pray? The Jnani Ishvarizes the whole universe, including that light of consciousness here, invoked as Lord Dakshinamurti. This is what is called Tatastha Lakshana. And Tatastha, Tate Tishtati iti Tatastha. Tatastha means that which is, that which is temporary, it derives its origin from people going in the boat in Ganga. They were going, and then they asked the boatman, which is that temple that I want to visit, which is the Annapurna temple. Because Kashi Vishwanath temple everybody knows. So, but which is the Annapurna temple, and then, Annapurneshwari temple. And then the boatman looks and he says, do you see that temple spire, Shikha? There are so many spires, correct? And so how to know? And then they say, yeah, but which one? Because there are so many temples, gopuras, shikhas, spires. And so the boatman says, the one on which the crow is sitting. Crow is sitting. And the people, the tourists, are very happy. They have identified the temple spire. And after that, when you get off on the other side, do you look for the crow? Huh? Say no. Yeah. So you don't look for the crow. Why? Because the crow's job is done. This is what Tatastha Lakshana is. That Brahman, in the form of the creator, sustainer, etc. That is Tatastha Lakshana of Brahman, one temporary incidental definition from the standpoint of the Jagat. But from the standpoint of itself, we have an unchanging definition that doesn't come, doesn't go, called Swarupa Lakshana. And the Swarupa Lakshana of Brahman is you. It has to be you. It cannot be other than you because here is where non-dual, Advaita, everything comes into the picture. And so the Swarupa Lakshana of Brahman is what? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam or Satchidananda. That is what it is. And so that's why this verse is very, very beautiful because it combines the two right in the beginning in a very ingenious way. I mean, there is nothing more to be said. People were a little worried, after the morning class today, they said, when are you going to finish this? And you're going to leave us, after one verse, what are you doing? And But this is actually complete in itself. If you study this verse, the whole Vedanta Shastra is there. This is in fact a Mahapratignya. Mahapratignya means a thesis statement which is going to unfold what all it is. What all is going to be shown. This is a complete in itself. There is nothing more to be said. Bhakti has come, Jnanam has come. The two definitions of Brahman, the one from the standpoint of itself, the unchanging Swarupa of it as Satchidananda has come, and Tatastha, the Tatastha Lakshana, the incidental definition of Bhagavan from the standpoint of the Jagat has also come. And so from that, standpoint of the Jagat, I have to mint myself as a devotee. So the sadhana has come, the devotion as a sadhana has come. And then the teaching, Jnana Moksha has come because the Ishtadevata that is chosen is who? None other than the teacher. Bhagavan in the form of the teacher. So teacher has come, Guru has come, teaching has come, the importance of the teaching, Moksha has come, and then and it is also, by the way, it's also a Mahavakya, as though this all was not enough. Because that Tejaha, that Teja, that what is that, in the form of the drum beat of Vedanta, which is the drum beat of I. You saw that yesterday, aham iti, sakshat sakshi rupena bhasate. And so that, I is the Satchidananda, and this Satchidananda, that light of consciousness, may it always abide in me in the form of Lord Dakshinamurti. May it always astam purastat. Purastat can also mean in front of me. May it guide my every step. So you see the whole thing. So the whole Vedanta Shastra, in a nutshell, this is the signature of Nrisimha Saraswati. That's the whole thing. I mean, this is really the whole thing. I can go on and on. I can just take this verse. It's enough. This is the whole, the whole book. The message of the whole book is right here. We can keep on going. So, therefore, this is a very important verse because it talks about the sadhana. What is the sadhana here? Bhakti and jnanam. Because the shramanam is the sadhana. Going to the teacher is a sadhana. That is, that is talked about. Bhakti is talked about. Shraddha comes in naturally because bhakti and shraddha are one and the same. And then what else is talked about? The vision is talked about. A vision of no division is talked about, and the division is also talked about between the devotee and the devoted. And then what? And the division is as though that is also said because really underlying that division between myself as the devotee and the object of devotion is what? Tat Tejaha. That light of awareness as myself, that is what it is. So that is Bhagavan, that is me. And so then what does Bhagavan become? Bhagavan becomes dressed up in the same light of awareness, dressed up, wearing a wonderful cape with golden embroidery. And what is the jiva? Wearing tatters and sitting and crying. That's what it is. Same light of consciousness. So this is all talked about very, very beautifully, very poignant and a deceptively simple verse. You can really, if you look into it, there's nothing more to really say about this, other than the fact that it's just ingeniously crafted. Looks very simple, but don't be, let's not become complacent thinking that, it's all going to sound the same and it's all this kind of a thing. It's all very simple Sanskrit, but that's the beauty of it. Everything that is very simple is what attracts. You don't have to use words that nobody knows. You don't have to use high-level Sanskrit. This is very interesting, very easy to, comprehend. After a few verses, you'll start understanding. Even if you don't know Sanskrit, you'll start understanding because it keeps repeating itself. Atma padartha dvau, jnana jnane padartha dvau. So then you'll start understanding. But really speaking, the beauty and the elegance is in the simplicity. Simplicity doesn't mean it's not profound. Like Adi Shankara's works are all very simple. His Sanskrit is very simple, very easy to grasp. But look at the profundity. So that is what is the elegance of this verse, of this work, and then with these words we can proceed to the next verse. So this, by way of little bit of an introduction, this, from verses 2 to 10, we have Nrisimha Saraswati Swamiji having, talking about the different dyads in the universe, because even though we want that oneness, even though there is a desire to have that oneness, one is dealing in duality all the time. Correct? It's always me and the world. Correct? That's one division. Me and the other people. Us and them. Us and them. Me and you. And then what else? Atma and Anatma. This is Vedanta 101. We are taught that Atma means what? You. You is Atma. Atma, the definition of Atma is the self, I. So you are the Atma. And then what? What is, what is everything else? Not I. Very strange distinction. I and not I. So what is this funny I and not I? What is, wherever there is a sensation of skin, I. Like for example, this is I. If I am standing like this, if I am sitting like this. In between, not I. Atma, Anatma, Atma, Anatma, Atma, Anatma, Atma, Anatma, 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 Atma, and then Anatma, Atma. Correct? So supposing a bullet goes in between the fingers, zing, bach gaya, you can say. It did not hit me. Right? Very funny. So the knowledge of I is skin deep. Wherever there is a sensation of touch, there this I-ness seems to pervade. And wherever there is no sensation of touch, the I-ness is not there. Very funny. So in other words, there is an identification with the body, the mind, and the senses as I. So this I is what? I is, whatever I can think. And sometimes what happens, this I sense is extended to family, children, parents. And that's why the parents will tell the children, you are going to come with me wearing that? How could you? So what does it matter what I wear? No, because you are an extension of me. You are a reflection of me. Therefore, what will you do? You will wear what I tell you to wear. This is what the whole thing is. That's why when the children are having exams, the parents get very nervous. And then depending on the exam schedule, the attendance in the Vedanta class drops for the adults. And once I asked what happened, no, please excuse Swamiji, Swamiji, we are having a lot of trouble. The children are having exams. You are not having exam, right? What do you have to do? Do you have to teach them? No, they study on their own. Then what? I'm just too tensed up. Yeah. This is what? A confusion between not I and I. Correct? Yeah. And even though nobody says this is, this house is my me house. There is no idea. Nobody mistakes oneself for the house. But still there is a certain tadatmya connection with the house. That's why if somebody comes to your house and says, oh, what a nice house. Thank you. House doesn't say thank you. You say thank you. It extends to everything. Some person is walking the dog. Nice dog. Thank you. Dog doesn't say woof woof. Owner says thank you. And even closer still. Nice t-shirt. Thank you. T-shirt doesn't say thank you. The person wearing it says thank you, thank you, thank you. So obviously there is an, what is that? Identification. Me house, this house thing is very interesting. I went once with Puja Swamiji, I went to somebody's house and then we were little early for Bhiksha. And then we rang the bell and some two people, domestic help came and they immediately they said, wait. So then I thought, oh, some Father Puja or something, some flowers, or, what is that? Pot, kumbha, purna kumbha, something. I said, yeah, we just surprised them, they're just getting it ready. So they rolled the carpet and put it away. And then the lady of the house came and, there was nothing, no other fanfare, we were just invited in. But Puja Swami, nothing missed Puja Swamiji's, attention. And he asked, what was that about? Why was the carpet being rolled up? Because usually when a VIP comes, you roll out the carpet. And here opposite, the carpet is rolled up. ये क्या बात है? He asked. And she looked a little embarrassed, the lady of the house, and she said, no, Swamiji, 11 o'clock, that horrible sun comes, and this is a, Persian carpet, really difficult to get, and very nice carpet, and it will fade. So 11:30 is when we had gone, and so the domestic help had been instructed to put it away, even though the Swami was standing at the door. And more important to secure the carpet and protect it from, Sun Bhagavan. And, this is what it is. This is, people's heart is given away to the house. And it's, this body itself is a house, really. You check in, you check out, that's all it is. You just don't know the checkout date. That's all it is. And, so what to talk of your house? That also is what? Just an abode. It's not you. This confusion is very, very rampant with regard to house, with regard to spouse. That's what breaks or makes so many marriages in peril. Where were you? Well, I went to see a friend. Which friend? What is the phone number? Sit down, get up. If you don't do that, you don't love me. You have to love only me. You can't have any friends. You can't, go out to that. You can't do all this. Why? Because the person is insecure. And why is the person insecure in Atma? And Atma difference is not no. That's all. There's a lot of confusion. What this I is, it's a very big discussion. Where is this I? What is this I? And more importantly, what is this I not? That's why in the beginning, Vedanta 001, we say that let us start by distinguishing I from not I. What is I? Dehad vilakshanaha, that which is separate from the body. Manaso vilakshanaha. So from the mind also it is separate. That which is obtains as sakshi. This is how, we teach in the beginning. Sakshi. Sakshi means what? Witness. So there is a, axiom here which is very safe to follow. Whatever I can observe, is it me or not me? Not me. Whatever I can objectify, me or not me? Not me. Whatever I can objectify with the senses, with perception, with all the sense organs, and even sakshi pratyaksha. Like for example, if you're waiting at a bus stop, you know that 10 minutes have elapsed. How? Even without looking at the clock. Then you look at the phone or the clock, and then you see that what? Indeed, 10 minutes have elapsed. So this is sakshi. This is a kind of a witness perception. You're walking on the road and you get a creepy feeling that somebody is following. You haven't looked back, but that creepy feeling is also sakshi pratyaksha, because you look back and then some unsavory fellow is tagging along. right? And so like this, so the witness is separate from that which it objectifies and witnesses. So the subject-object separation has to be done in the beginning, even though we are all about non-duality and non-separation. This separation is part of the paradox of understanding the non-separation. So in the beginning, you are not the house, you are not the spouse, you are not the child, you are not this, you are not even the body, you are not the mind. You know? And then that is Vedanta 101. And then Vedanta 201 is that all that we call as objects resolve in I, the subject, you know, and then all that, and the subject is irresolute, it does not resolve at all. Very beautiful. So everything that I call I is it includes the objects. Objects resolve in the I. How we will see later. Don't worry about it, because everything is I alone. It's that one I, Satchidananda Swarupa, that is pervaded in the form of various names and forms, words and meanings. And so therefore, this is a very important lesson of I and not I. And that's why it is very easy to comprehend, because this is at a very basic level. Even the body is, you are able to falsify the body as I, because you can observe it. You can observe everything from tummy pain to headache to everything. So it's not you, not you. So what, and then one starts getting dispassion with regard to the body and all of its parts. Definitely. If there is a heart, there will be an attack. Yeah, that's how we say heart is meant for heart attack. And liver is meant to fail, become fatty. There is something called fatty liver. All those bondas have to go somewhere. Yeah, samosas, all the chatpata fried things, somewhere they have to go. And the liver is apparently their place of choice, correct? So, and if there are intestines, there will be polyps, definitely. Where else will they go? And then if there is, if there is blood, there will be pressure, high or low. Something will be there. So this way you start having a kind of a, what is that called? Objectivity. The correct meaning of Vairagya is not dispassion, because dispassion doesn't mean much. Objectivity. I'm able to see this, and one is not affected anymore, because I am not affected. The blood pressure is high, but I am not high. This is what will be. And neither am I high nor am I low. That which is, no deti na astameti, bhasati ekadha chitihi, ridrishyati. That which neither rises, like the blood pressure, nor falls, like the aforementioned blood pressure. Right. It doesn't rise, it doesn't set, it doesn't have any fluctuation. That which is observing all the fluctuations, it is not afflicted. And this is a very important interruption. Because otherwise, one small headache is enough for the person to be in what is called doldrums. If there is headache, there are so many. Take one pill. No, I don't want to take pill. Okay, take something Ayurvedic. There are so many. Put some cream. Lie down. No, I have to work. Okay, go to work. Now, how can I work? Okay, don't go to work. This is the identification. Can't be without this, can't be with this. And then as soon as the identification starts, what happens? There is this refrain, why it's happening to me? Me, why me? Why only me? Who else shall we bring to give the headache? Only I am being targeted. This feeling of being targeted comes because of this Atma Anatma confusion. This is what it is. Why me? And really, if you are serious about Vedanta, you have to put one word in between why and me. Why not me? If somebody had to have the headache, why not me? That's much more objective. In a given day, let's say there are 7 billion people in the world, correct? Approximately. So 7 billion heads, right? And we are not talking of dogs and cats, only human beings. 7 billion heads. So 1/10 of them will have headache. You know, maybe this is the law of headache law. That in any given situation, randomly, any number you can say, 1/5 or 1/10 will have headache, or 1/20th will have headache. So then why not me? Somebody has to have it, why not me? And this is the way, there is in the Kathopanishad a beautiful verse that says the jnani does not seek to protect themselves from calamities because they know that they are, outside the realm of being affected by calamities. Nakaschit gopaitum ichchati. Gup, to protect here. There is nothing to protect, nothing to hide from. And then Adi Shankara puts it very beautifully. Prarabdhaya samarpitam vapuhu. So in the sadhana panchakam, last line. Prarabdhaya samarpitam, no, not sadhana panchakam, this one, I think Manisha panchakam, one of the panchakams. Prarabdhaya samarpitam vapuhu. Prarabdhaya samarpita vapuhu means it's one word, bahuvrihi compound. The one whose body is given to the laws of the birth and death and universe. Because they know that they are not the body, they are not the mind, they are not the senses. So let anything happen. If it's meant to happen, it will happen. If it's not meant to happen, it will not happen. I read one article, a very sobering article. It was very interesting. That from the Stone Age, Paleo Age to now, it's not that our lifespan has increased that much, or our quality of life, or our longevity. Little bit longevity has increased. And then the other sobering conclusion is not because of medical science as much as because of, penicillin and sanity, not sanity, sanitization, all this sterilization, all these things. That has helped because we are finally learning how to be one up on many of the bacteria. Of course, they are now coming back with a vengeance, but we are in an interesting state. I read this. And it was a sobering article because here we think as a humanity, oh, that time we used to only live till 50 years old, now we are living till 70 years old. That's nothing. If you are meant to live till 70 years old, no matter what you do, you will live to 70 years old. No, but what about if I pop a few pills? Okay, 72. Yeah. Lord Yama has a coffee break. This is acha hai. I'll go to Starbucks and come back. Yeah. And if you don't do anything, maybe 69, or if you do something against it, okay. 68. But relatively speaking, this is what it is because one comes into the universe with a decided number of breaths. We don't count the, what is that, in years. We don't count in years. We count the age, number of breaths. That's why one must not hyperventilate. Always keep a paper bag at hand. Why paper bag? Because some carbon dioxide helps to calm down. Breathe into the paper bag. If there were paper bags already discovered in the Bhagavad Gita, after the first chapter, we would not have had the other chapters. Lord Krishna, when Arjuna panicked, Lord Krishna would have said, here bro, come on. Breathe into this and feel instantly better. Yeah. But because there was no paper bag, we have 17 other chapters, thank God. Yeah. So then, this is Udana Vayu. Each time you breathe in and out, tick, 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 tick. Since a countdown has begun, the moment the baby cries and wails after it comes out of the tummy of the mummy, and they just, already the countdown is begun. And the yogis thought we can outwit this. And then what? Pranayama. You breathe once every 3 minutes. You learn tremendous breath control. A few times a day you breathe enough. And then, but Lord Yama is undeterred. I'll come back 3 years later. No problem. Maybe 5 years later. So prarabdhaya samarpita vapuhu means the one who has this atma anatma difference so much down that the one who is able to abide in oneself not as the body mind sense complex but as sarvatma. Sarvatma means the one that is everything is myself alone. Sarvatma bhavena jivati yaha. So the one who lives, that is the jivan mukta. And so death doesn't matter, let it come. And let it, let it happen. That's how the jnanis lead their lives. That is how it is. You just go do whatever you're supposed to do. And then, there will be obstacles because that is life. If you have a head, you will have a headache. And so, and you just expect that. And so when there is no headache, you jump up and down and celebrate. No problem. So that's why this Atma Anatma is the basic, teaching right in the beginning, because we have already a categorical mind that likes to put things in boxes. Me, not me, this, not that, jnana, ajnana, all these things. And so therefore, Atma and Anatma is a very basic definition and distinction. Atma means I, Anatma means what? Not I. So let us look at the verse. Padarthau dvau. Two meanings here. Dvau means what? Two. Padarthau means what? Things. Yeah, one meaning of the word padartha is thing. And if you look deeply into the thing is that, padartha means, the pada means word, artha means meaning. Two things are there, two words with their meanings. Very interesting. So the word I is just a word and meaning. The word not I is just a word and meaning. Let's say Satchidananda to refer to that. So it means thing, it also means word and meaning. So, dvau padarthau, there are only two things. What are they? I and not. Big deal. So what? How is it going to change my life if I know this? That's why we have to read further. Maybe that will help. So one is, so lakshanau means they have having the characteristic. What is the characteristic? Respectively, Atma is Bhoktru. Bhoktru means the experiencer. Even though here it is translated as enjoyer, it's euphemistic. Okay? Yeah. The correct thing is Bhokta, experiencer. Atma is the experiencer and Anatma is the object of experience. So here we have a very basic distinction. What is I? One who is the consumer. Give me, give me, give me. I think I'll have this. I think I'll try this. And so Atma is the one that is Bhokta. This is kind of new. And then the world, the Jagat, with all the other things, full of what? Bhogya, Vastu, Bhogya Vastuni. All the Bhogya Vastus are there, the things to be enjoyed, to be experienced, objects of experience, and the experiencer. Experiencer is I, objects of experience are what? Are not I. Very interesting distinction. So, objects of experience and experiencer. This is a little bit of a new thing. Because usually we go with karta, correct? Karta is I, and then whatever I do, whatever I use, the karana, etc. is anatma, you can say. But here it goes with bhokta. Why? Because for what sake does everybody do action? Why do you do action? For the sake of result of action. Nobody is interested in action. Everyone is lazy. Nobody will do any action. Why do you cook? In order to eat. Correct? Nobody says, nobody spends 3 hours making a meal. So what are you going to do with it? No, well, it's too late to eat, so now I'll start cooking dinner. No, you cook in order to eat. You earn money in order to spend. You work for 5 days to get 2 days off. Correct? Then you work for the whole year in order to get 2 weeks off. Rush off to India. Yeah. And then what? You work whole life to get the rest of the life off. To study Vedanta? Oh no. Just to be like that. Yeah. So this is all the karma. Karma, one becomes a karta in order to what? Bhogaya karma. And so therefore, Nrisimha Saraswati, without, without any, what's the word for it, wasting any time, straight away he looks at the I and the one who is, this is again a tentative definition, okay, because you have to begin somewhere. And the goalposts of this I will keep moving, because if you go away today with the conclusion that I am Bhokta, good luck. That's all I have to say, because that's not fun, you know. So, this is a temporary definition in order to distinguish the I from other, objects in the universe, from the subject, which is I. So the subject is the experiencer, and the objects of, the objects are objects of experience. The not I is an object of experience, and I is what? Not an object of experience. This is very, very important. I is not an object of experience, but the I is a subject, and we have to add this here, whose nature is Anubhuti Swarupa, which is always experienced, but not as an object. And you know why he does this bhokta? Because bhogaya karma, one reason, because everybody does karma for what? In order to have bhoga. And then the second reason he puts it is because of that ananda. The desire for ananda is why it is Atma here. I is talked about as the experience. I experience myself, correct? Yes? No? Yeah. In sleep, do you experience yourself? And then, but then when you wake up, you're able to relate the experience. Sukhamaham aswapsam nakinchidavesham. I slept so well, I don't know anything. So you do experience sleep, but you're not able to write a journal of that sleep experience until after waking up. Sleep is you're experiencing the sleep, you're experiencing the waking state, correct? And then you're experiencing what? The dream state. The question is, who is the waker? Who is the dreamer? And who is the one who is the sleeper? Who is that? Atma that is undergoing various states of experience as the experiencer. And this Atma, I, right now, waker. And then right now, sleeper, especially in Vedanta classes. Yeah. And right now, dreamer. This is what it is. And so therefore, who is the waker? I have to say I. It's not that the neighbor is awake, I am awake. Who is the sleeper? I. Who is the dreamer? But I cannot say I am the dreamer. Dreamer is me, I am not just the dreamer. Sleeper is me, I am not just the sleeper. Waker is, not separate from me, but I am not the waker. I lend my presence to the waking state. I lend my presence to the dreaming state. I lend my presence to the sleeping state without being either dreamer nor sleeper nor waker. Then what are you? And the fourth one, Chaturiya, shortened to Turiya. It is not the fourth. It's not the fourth state or the fourth estate. No. It is the only thing. That Turiya alone is the waker. The truth of the waker is Turiya. The truth of the sleeper is Turiya. The truth of the dreamer is Turiya. Turiya is neither waker nor dreamer nor sleeper. You see how this Bhokta, why, what a master stroke it is to talk about this, experience, because to use the word experience, because most people, when they first come to Vedanta, and sometimes even many years later, they have one persistent question. What is that? I know I am Brahman, but what? How to experience it? Arey, you are experiencing you. Yes. And the truth of that experience alone is Brahman. You are experiencing Brahman whether you laugh or you cry or you run or sleep or eat or drink. Pralapan, Visrujan, Grinhan, Nutmishan, Nimishan, Napi, all that. All the time. You're constantly experiencing yourself. And so the experiencer, the one who is cognizing this experience, is I. Experiencer is I, and then objects involved in the experience, including the states, are what? Not I. Very interesting. So this Turiya, people get confused. They think it is some other thing. How to get into Turiya? Right? You are already Turiya. No, but how to get into Turiya? It's like the example that I give to assimilate this is like if nowadays they buy this, what is this called? Timeshare. So somebody from a place in the landlocked state which has not many mountains or water or anything goes and buys one timeshare in Florida to go with their family. And then they also buy one timeshare in where? Let's say they like to ski. Where will we send them? Colorado, let's say. They go to Aspen. And so they go buy a timeshare in Aspen. And then they also like to go to the desert. So they buy another timeshare in Arizona, Sedona. Let us send them to Sedona. They are from the middle of the US, Kansas. Okay? Yeah. Once I was giving this example and really there was a couple from Kansas. So they are from Kansas. So they go to Florida, they are playing in the water, they are having a good time, and they make some friends. And the friends say, so when did you move here? No, I'm just visiting. I'm from Kansas. That's where I work, that's where I live, just visiting. Then they go to Aspen and they are sitting in the ski lift and meet some people that they really like and they say, oh, are you moving here? Where do you live? No, I'm not from here. I'm just visiting. And then they go to Sedona. Again, same question and the same answer. I'm not from here. I'm just visiting. Correct. So this is very clear. They are Kansas Gyanis, correct? Because they know that they are from there, they belong there, they will visit many places, they will live there for 2-3 months in each place, but they are not belonging there to that place, they are not identified with that place, they are free of that place, they go, they come. This is how the I experiences the waking state as a visitor. I'm a visitor in the waking state. I visit the waking state, just like those, let's say the Florida is the waking state, just like the Kansas people went to Florida, I visit the waking state. And then what? Sedona, the Aspen is the sleep state. So then I visit the sleep state. Alarm clock has to bring me out of that. And then I visit the dream state. All the while, I'm neither sleeper nor dreamer nor what? Waker. And the interesting thing is that we know this. We know this. It's very easy to falsify the dream. Ah, that was just a dream. You know, if you have a dream that somebody is catching you and giving you a thrashing, and then you wake up, then you don't have to put pain balm on the back, correct? Because that really did not happen. That was then. This is a different. This is a different reality. And then sleep also, you can say that was, you can dismiss the sleep very easily. Dismiss the sleep. And then what? But it's very, very near impossible to falsify the waking state. That is where the identification happens. Because in the other two states, one is a true bhokta. In sleep, you are a bhokta. You're not a karta. What are you doing? Nothing you're doing. You're just experiencing some punya. Yeah. That's why I never wake up anyone who sleeps in Vedanta class. Because it is their punya. Their punya is allowing them to sleep. Who am I to wake them up? So this is something very beautiful. So, you know, the sleep is bhokta. You are a total bhokta. And in dream also you have bhoga sharira. Therefore, if you beat up somebody in dream, then upon waking you are not led to the jail. Correct? You are not culpable. Because it is both. And that which is, you know, the state of bhoga is easier to falsify if it is by itself. But the waking state presents the difficulty of, you know, kartritvam also comes. I'm not just bhokta. Bhokta doesn't come freely. I have to do something in order to enjoy. Not enjoy, experience. Do experience. Because most of the experiences are not enjoyable. That's why I said the word bhokta to translate as experiencer is, you know, what is it? Euphemism. Yeah. It's just pretending everything is okay when it's not. Trying to just keep the, you know, good news going. So here bhoktra lakshanaha asti atmanaha. So for the atma there is the characterization of recognizing itself as the experiencer. So what does it experience? It first experiences itself not as a object. I am, not an object. I can't see it, I can't catch it. Yattadadreksham agrahyam avarnam agotram apanipadam mundakopisha. I am. And then what? And then it experiences everything that it is not as an object of experience. So now we have, how do we know that we have I experience and then not I experience? Because that is an object of my knowledge, correct? So we have Atma Jnana, correct? See where this is going. And Anatma Jnana. They also become Dvau Padarthau. This is also spilling into verse number 3. We will see that later. Dvau hi Padarthau Atma Anatmanav. So, the knowledge of anatma, knowledge of objects of experience comes automatically. Either through hearing, oh, have you experienced this? Something exotic. Like we didn't know a few years back, what is that? You know, that mattress where you put the hand and imprint and it stays. Memory. Phone? Phone. Yeah. I was wondering what the phone was doing there. Yeah. Memory foam. Yeah. Our mind is going, but the mattress has memory. Yeah. Interesting displacement. Yeah. So this memory foam, you know, people didn't know a decade ago. It was still new. And then, you know, you hear about this object of experience, memory foam. Everybody, it becomes a object of want, correct? And then everybody wants it, and then everybody experiences it, and so memory, form, ignorance, gone. So many things, like from the beginning, you don't even know who the mother is, who the father is. Mother ignorance gone, father ignorance gone, and then what? Friend ignorance gone, sibling ignorance gone. So anatma, the objects of bhoga in the form of anatma, their knowledge comes automatically. Automatically. Automatically, I drop anatma ignorance. Anatma ignorance, anatma knowledge is, technically known as aparavidya. Aparavidya, meaning not ultimate, necessary to know, but not ultimate. The knowledge of Atma as not bhogya vastu, as not something to be experienced as an object, is what? Paravidya. So this aparavidya, the ignorance of apara objects keeps dropping on its own. You go to school, it's enough. You have some friends, it's enough. You belong to some of the social media, Twitter, Facebook, you come to know lots of useless things. Enough. Lots of things you come to know. Enough. But then, what about Atma Jnanam? That you have to choose to know. That you have to choose to know. The other thing happens on its own. This one has to be chosen to know. And what is the choice here? The content of the experiencer is myself alone. I have to understand. And that is what is given in the latter half of the words. Brahmaiva Atma. Very easy. It's like almost like sutra, aphorisms. What is this I? What is the truth of the experiencer? Brahman. What is the truth of Turiya? Brahman. Why? Because everything is Brahman. Brahmaiva Atma. And then, Baki sir, what is the rest of it? Na dehadihi. Yeah. Not the objects of experience. Atma is not the object of experience. Atma is Brahman, not the objects of experience. Thus proclaims what? The drum of Vedanta. Write it down. Afterwards, I'll have some time for questions. So, not the objects of experiences. Brahmaiva Atma, not the body. Dehadihi, not the mind, not the senses, not everything that is connected to me, like house, spouse, all these things, pets, objects of love, collections, so many things. None of them is me. None of them is me. This is a beginning distinction. This is a temporary incidental distinction which is going to be later on. What is that? You go to another level and then you say that all the objects resolve in that which is the subject does not resolve. Because what is an object? Satchidananda. What is the cognizer of the object? Satchidananda. Then why say that this is different from that? Because in this stage, in the second verse, we are taken on a certain journey. A journey of unfolding Vedanta, where the journey is such that you have taken step by step by step to make sure that everything is understood. In the beginning, if everything is you, it is told, already you feel everything is you, everything connected to you. So it doesn't help. So first, you separate in order to then unite. Brahmaiva Atma. Brahman is Atma alone. Atma is nothing but Brahman. And this Brahman that you want to know, that you are seeking, is you alone. You are not the body, mind, sense complex. Interesting, because it doesn't say the body, mind, sense complex is not Brahman, it doesn't say. It says, you are Brahman,
You are not the body, mind, sense complex. Later on, it will say the body is also Brahman, the mind is also Brahman, the senses are also Brahman. But for now, this is important because that separation is there, and that separation gives a sense of sanity. Sanity is it. Yeah. Let us read the third verse and then we'll leave it there. Jnana jnane, it should be jnane, okay? Jnana jnane padarthau dvau. Atmano mukti, atmano bandha mukti dau. Jnanan muktir nibandhonyat. Together. Iti Vedanta Dindima. Yeah, that is what it is. So it is same thing. So verses 2 to 10, Gyantrignyaya padarthau dvau, Sukha Dukha padarthau dvau, and then what else? Samashti Vyashti Swarupau dvau, Jnana Karma padarthau dvau, Shrotavya Shravya Swarupau dvau, Chintya Chintya Swarupau dvau, and then Dhyeya Dhyeya padarthau dvau. This is, this is to take away all kinds of wrong, divisions that we have, and, and talking about those divisions that we already have, and then delineating what the Atma is all the time. And then later on, that same division is going to be brought back. So that is, so we will stop here for today, and then, rest of it will continue. There will be some. Even Vijayji can take this text. If you want it to continue, he can take this text, or some other teacher can take this text, or if I come back, I can take this text. So no problem. You can also do it online. That's not an issue. If people are interested, we can continue with this once a week online. We can also do that. So you can let me know and we can do that. So say the closing prayer. I've left some time for questions. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha Hari Om. Yeah.
To the glow of Atma that exists becomes
What?
I was trying to understand the
Tatastha. No, Tate Tishtati iti Tatastha. The crow on the bank. That's all it is. Tatastha means crow on the bank. That's the example. Tate Tishtati iti Tatastha Lakshana. Brahman endowed with, the status of creator, sustainer, etc.
So we use the same phrase for the sleep state and all that.
We won't say Tatastha for sleep state, Turiya. The same Turiya is the waker. The truth of the waker is Turiya, truth of the sleeper, Turiya, truth of the dreamer, Turiya. Yes. Yeah, it is not, it is a pedagogy. It's not a conundrum. It's a pedagogy. It's an ancient pedagogy to separate in order to unite. Because already one is mired in duality. So 10 more verses is not going to, change that. So then it is coming down to our level of how we think and how we look at the world, and then it will dismiss that later. The purpose is to take us on a journey of learning, and sometimes the journey of learning has to start with unlearning. So we have to first unlearn what we wrongly know, and this is what is helping me do that. Yeah, it's a deconditioning pedagogy, methodology. Yeah,
Please elaborate on why when this complex is not
it is Brahman. But the thing is that here, we are talking about it's a particular way of proceeding. Body mind sense complex is Brahman, but Brahman is not body mind sense complex. That is what has to be understood. And that's why only one thing is being talked about. You, which is the truth of the body mind sense complex, are Brahman. You are not the body mind sense complex. It doesn't say body mind sense complex is not Brahman. That's why I elaborated that earlier. It doesn't say Brahmaiva Atma na Dehadihi. It doesn't say na Dehadihi Brahma, na Brahma, it doesn't say. You are Brahman. You are not just the body mind sense complex. That's what it says.
your body mind appear to think you are because it's Maya.
Yeah, that's why first it has to separate and then it will unite. Somewhere here, yeah,
What is the difference between Atma, Paramatma, and
no difference. Yeah, no difference. It's all one. Yeah, Turiya is short for Chaturiya. And again, from the standpoint of our ignorant mind, because we count the waker, one, sleeper, two, dreamer, three, who am I? Number four. But that's wrong. You are not number four. There's no three. So how can you be the fourth one? There is no one, two, three itself. How can you count the fourth one? So therefore, you are that which visits the waking state, dreaming state, and sleeping state without being either the waker or the dreamer or the sleeper. That is what you are. Yes. Waker is also Brahman. Sleeper is also Brahman.
Like say Atma, Paramatma, Brahman, Surya. That's it.
Yes.
you're saying that in this state, it's unresolved.
Yes.
Is much tougher.
Yeah, but you are not culpable, you see. The Kartrutvam, the doership is not culpable. It's a projection. It's a projection. And so you may be a dream karta, you may be bash up somebody in the dream, but then when you wake up, you don't say sorry to them, because the kartrutvam, it's a falsified kartrutvam, it's a projected kartrutvam, but that bhoga pradhana is, you may do some things in the dream, but you're not really the doer because you're not culpable for your actions. Because free will is not there, because you are not intending to do. So, what constitutes karma is the presence of free will. In the dream, it's Maya, or your own memory and desire that is projecting in an inhibited way. So, therefore, there is no, volition. That's why you only broke that. Yeah.
So, talk about the real and morning system and also yesterday we talked about the Purusha.
Yes.
And then we say Moksha is the final goal.
Yes.
But you also have you by attending one or two Vedanta classes, you already know that you're not the sleeper or the maker of the dreamer person before.
Yes.
And you know that I am.
Yes.
What's the purpose of this Purusha?
There is no other Purusha. Ultimately, there is only moksha.
How should we understand Dharma?
So, the thing is, it's not that you have to go through. Sometimes people can't but go through because there are so many desires to fulfill and all these things. That's why we say Purusharthas are four in number. But really speaking, when you want Dharma, what do you want? You want to be happy. You want to be free of conflict. People who love Dharma don't like conflict, they want to be free of conflict. People who like Artha, security and Kama want to be happy. So that security, happiness, free of conflict, Shanti, it's all your Swarupa, which is Moksha. So hidden behind the mask of Dharma, Artha, Kama, only Moksha is there. No other. Moksha is the only, not just Parama Purushartha, it's the only Purushartha. Really, from the standpoint of Vedanta, what else are you going to see? All with stuff. Dharma, Artha, Kama? Sure, if you know that, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, correct. Very well put.
You said Atma is experience, like the experience,
Experiencer. Yeah.
and Anatma is the outcome, which I can understand. However, Atma never experiences.
It experiences as not as an object. You experience yourself. Yeah, as the subject. That's what it's, you have to get your mind around it a little bit.
So, we talked about the speed and the
Yeah, you can see that was a big hit. Okay. Yeah.
so the speed and the leadership of that.
Yes,
But the making it is so hard.
very difficult to falsify.
So what does that mean?
How to do that? Yeah. Keep remembering you're from Kansas. That's all I can say. What else can I say? Do whatever it is. More Shravanam, more Nididhyasanam, to know that, I'm not, I'm just a visitor. And you can lead your life also like this. You touch and let go, touch and let go. What is our problem? Our problem is we touch and hold on. And hands are coated with Velcro. You just go and stick to things, stick to people, stick to objects, you know. And that's a problem. And then so consciously, you just touch and let go, enjoy, let go. You don't have to be stoic and say, oh, this waking state is full of temptations. I am not going to be coming under those temptations. I'm not going to look to the left or to the right. Anturi. How boring. Yes. Really. Boring for you and boring for people who are around you also. So enjoy everything. Let go. Yeah. Just let go. This very, what's the word for it? Kind of a fluid connection to things and objects and situations and people. Doesn't mean you shouldn't love them. Love them fully. But our problem is we say, I love you, therefore you have to listen to me. I love you, therefore sit down. That's it. So that's what it is. And then here, yeah. No, I won't say that you are a dream of Bhagavan because you are Bhagavan. The dream example is given to show how the creator and creation are not separate from one another. And that's where it stops. You can't say you're a dream of Bhagavan because Bhagavan has better work to do than to dream us up. Yeah.
So I thought the paraphrase is I am Bhagwan or I am Atma. Exist, I'm
As though waker, as though dreamer, as though sleeper, neither sleeper nor dreamer nor waker. And you might as well refer to, in terms of contemplation, a very nice verse from the Bhagavad Gita is towards the end of the second chapter. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami tasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato vineti. It's like a night and day difference. So, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutana, that which is night to all beings. That Turiya reality, which is night to all beings, that Atma Jnanam is like night to all beings who are not interested. Please know, you say the word Vedanta, by the time you finish saying the word Vedanta, they are gone. But the Sanyami, the Muni, is awake to that reality. And unto that reality of malls and balls, how do you spell mall? MAUL. Yeah, all the people who've taken classes online know this. Because where you go to be mauled of your sanity and your pocketbook. Yeah. How do you spell ball? BAWL. Okay? Yeah. So this is what it is. So those who are interested in all kinds of malls and balls, in that reality is very off-putting to the jnani who is asleep to that reality. That is what it is. This is a beautiful contemplation
on oneself as Guru. So it's night and day, into which reality the jnani is awake, the ajnani is asleep. Into that reality, of names and forms and all this anatma, into which the ajnanis are awake, the jnani has no interest and goes off to sleep. Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Yeah. So just because I may get attached to it doesn't mean that I should not enjoy it. I have to learn to let go.
So, one you had a, you gave a very beautiful example of where you said that you asked someone what is that one, you asked them if you went to school and
Yeah,
absolutely. So that was a very easy
yeah,
to understand.
right.
Likewise, we keep very then without terms and dimensions probably under one because the body may not want it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the question is when someone comes and asks, okay, I want to do this, let's say I want to do that or not that, just as a question.
Yeah,
How do you determine and give them a right advice when it is not?
yeah, it's very interesting. Because apparently two men, young men, went to the Guru and same question, should I get married or not? Both of them had one question. And to the first man, the Guru said, absolutely not. Are you out of your mind? Go home. You put me off, just go home. And the other one said, oh, sure, let's take out the Muhurat, let's take out the auspicious time. Definitely you can get married. Who do you have in mind? You don't have anybody in mind? I'll help you find somebody. Same, two people. The one happened to be not ready, but the Guru kind of knew, even though he may not have known, he or she may not have known the circumstances, the other one was ready. So here, it is not a question of Samanya Dharma, we are under Vishesha. How to interpret Samanya Dharma in specific situations. So marriage ready means one should be emotionally somewhat mature and somewhat ready to share their life. If you only want to live for themselves, they better not get married. See, that is something. And then also marriage is a financial commitment. So it's good to be financially independent and have some things that they can, so they should have some employment, etc. All that has to be seen. So you can't just give a blanket response.
Marriage is just one aspect of it. It could be other situations.
Dharma is something you learn. You fall down and learn. You fall down, you pick yourself up, you learn. And you write the book afterwards. Here is Manta. So, to go on holding, you can say that. Mamatvam, minus, meanness. Holding is cannot be meanness, it could also be insecure. People hold because they are insecure. And they feel that by having whatever it is, money or things. Now there is one one TV show I saw. There was not even enough space for the TV crew to go in. This person his family had hoarded so much. They couldn't even find one child in the house and one cat. They didn't know where they were. It had been 3 or 4 days since they had seen the 4-year-old. It was somewhere under a pile of things, It had stopped even crying because what's the point? It was lost in the house. So many. This person was a shopaholic and holding. I mean, somehow they had money and the whole thing. And these people go, the TV, they finally called the TV crew and there was no space. Even the cockroaches were complaining that there's no place for us. That very thing they had. Yeah. And then finally they were sent into a hotel and then the house was cleaned up, given a coat of paint. And then they had 7 Salvation Army trucks. 7! Oh, and it was full. All of them were full and all this. And they said, we're just giving it away. You cannot have it anymore. You have to make a clean, fresh start. Only one table, one chair, 2 chairs, and whatever it is. How many were? 1 chair per person.
one couch, one dining table, one bed in each room. Just like that, they had to really do that. So much furniture, so much system. And they barely were able to get back that 4-year-old. It was taken into protective something, custody. When they finally got it back. Because 3 days they could, that's why they called the TV crew, because we can't find our child. It's in between two mattresses. Yeah. So that is, that's some problem. That's an extreme example of some problem. Thankfully, we are all garden variety holders. So it's okay.
The Russian of Yali says that Vedanta on its own.
Well, that would be nice, wouldn't it? If Vairagya gave on its own. To a certain extent, it comes on the own. Once you're on this path, things drop, but you have to make a little effort. Otherwise, if you didn't have to make an effort, then it would not be a qualification. Viveka and then what? Vairagya. Then you can scratch off that qualification because apne aap it is coming. So why should I, strive for it? It's not coming by itself. No, they are connected. Viveka and Vairagya are twins. So Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. What is Nitya, what is Anitya, I know. And what is infinite, I want. And so therefore, what do? I stay away from the finite Vairagya. That is, so the two are connected. Yeah, that's good. What? Prema. Yeah, love. Sneha. No, Sneha is Velcro. Yeah. From sneak, which is oily and viscose. Yes. So it's an affection which is, unguent. Like, it's like a Vicks paper. It takes a lot of soap to wash it off. Yeah, once you put it on your hand or on your head, then you have to wash it off. It becomes sticky. So Sneha means a love that sticks. And Prema means, it is just love. So we have many words for love. Sneha means a sticky affection, a sticky affair. They should do the puja. Because, the thing is, we have anthropomorphized the Bhagavan. And so now 9:45 it's going to start eclipse. So we lock it up and then tomorrow he's going to get a ritual bath and get purified like everyone else. So this is what it is. But the eclipse tonight, it's a very powerful eclipse. And it's a very long-standing eclipse, very interesting eclipse. It's spending 61 minutes in totality. Astrologically, it's just amazing. Very rarely you have that. And 61 minutes in totality, and plus, 1 or 2 hours on either side getting into totality and out of totality. And so, it is a powerful moon. The message of the lunar eclipse is always opening. The solar eclipse brings endings. We already had one, I think, on the 5th of January, it was a solar eclipse. Doesn't matter where it is, but and lunar eclipse brings beginnings. So it's a fresh beginning, it's a new beginning. And usually eclipse is a powerful time because, the usual business as usual is disrupted. And so therefore, this is a good time to do japa. This is a good time to sit and pray for some time, to meditate. And it's very, very powerful. Very powerful. Okay? Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Nidavyaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Vikrama Asato Ma Satgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityo Ma Amritamaya, Om Bhurbhuvah Purnamidam पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ